Lester Crest is a name known to many. However, not many know the complex history of him. So today we will dive into the tragic history of Lester Crest and further explore his potential future in Leonida in Grand Theft Auto 6. And if you do enjoy this video, please consider subscribing. It helps the YouTube algorithm, basically tells them that people rock with my content, so it suggests it to more people and we can grow the channel together. And let's get right into it. Lester had it rough even early on. He was born with a rare wasting disease that destroyed his muscle strength gradually over time. At first, he was on the weak side, but still able to function normally. Then as time went on, his condition got worse, requiring him to use a cane, then a wheelchair, while only occasionally standing for short periods of time with the assistance of the cane. Lester tried to make the best of the situation and studied an unknown cybersecurity space and later applied for a job at the University of San Andreas located in Los Santos, which was the city he was currently residing in. Although it is not known which house he called home at this time, as this was before the events of the main game, unfortunately he was not accepted into the university. Lester was devastated. He tried to make a proper living without crime and was shut down. He later ends up hacking their network systems, which he claims never gets old, showing that he doesn't have regret about it even to this day, as that was quoted in the GTA 5 story mode. After giving it a try and failing, Lester decides to turn to a life of crime and thus moves out to Ludendorff, where he will meet two interesting figures who he shall never forget. Michael Townley and Trevor Phillips had been robbing small joints in North Yankton for a little while, but needed more sophistication to their operation, which made just enough room for Lester Crest. However, he would only work behind the scenes, pre-planning and gathering information and such, as his wasting disease made him quite the fragile human even at this point. One day, while in a car ride, Lester mentioned to the two about a facility in Los Santos that held large amounts of gold reserves that one day he hoped to take down.
Anyway, we robbed and lied and we hurt people. Pretty much lived a low-life kind of existence. But always dreaming of one thing and one thing only.
The big one.
The big one. The big one!
The guys agreed to the job, but for now, it would remain only an ambition. Michael and Trevor came up with their own job for the meantime, a cash storage facility with not too much security. It seemed like the perfect job. Lester, however, wasn't on board as he believed it to be a bad idea. So Michael and Trevor and another associate, Brad, go to rob the facility. The job goes south very quickly though. The initial wave of heat got the driver killed and forced Michael to take the wheel, to which Michael strictly wants to stick to the plan. Once they reach the rendezvous point, the team is ambushed by an unknown sniper at this point, and one is fatally shot, the other shot but will survive, and the other accomplice, Trevor Phillips, is the only unharmed suspect and runs away to escape local police. Lester has limited information on this matter at the time. He believes that all members are killed in the heist and moves to Los Santos to avoid the local heat and to try to blend in with the urban jungle that is Los Santos. After purchasing a garment factory as a cover for his illegal operations that he is still running, he decides to further investigate the botched North Yankton heist. He finds out that Michael Townley faked his death and is now living in Los Santos under witness protection. Haha, just kidding. Lester finds out it was all a ploy to get out with the money and move elsewhere for Michael to be with his family, while leaving all the heat behind in Ludendorff. However, since Michael is assumed to be dead, he never revealed Lester's involvement in the group, thus Lester doesn't hold any resentment towards him, but still has some questions about the situation.
About what happened before. Well, I know you never mentioned my name. I know I'm not on any lists anywhere. I know you never betrayed me. As for you, you gotta figure that I never told anyone.
Luckily for him, Michael seeks help from someone like Lester after pissing off the wrong person and is now in need of some cash, so the two get together with Michael's new accomplice in Franklin Clinton and rob a jewelry store. This is also a good time to mention that Lester is incredibly in touch with the criminal underworld. He's familiar with all of the crime families and individuals who are famous in the crime world. While preparing for the Evangelical job, Lester mentions that they need someone dependable, and that is when Michael recommends Franklin, of course. But Lester briefly suggests somebody making moves in Liberty City, an Eastern European guy.
There was an Eastern European guy making moves in Liberty City, but he went quiet.
He remarks, however, that he went quiet and that they wouldn't be able to use him. Furthermore, if you choose Patrick McCreary, Lester will remark that he's familiar with that family and that Patrick seems like a solid pick. As for the jewelry store job though, everything goes as planned should you have picked decent crew members and events further continue. The game events continue as normal, with notable mentions being the Merryweather heist, in which Trevor steals an experimental super weapon from Merryweather and plans to sell it to the Chinese, until Lester ultimately interjects and demands that the weapon be returned to the wreckage site so as to avoid governmental wars. And of course, the UD job, which Lester always dreamed of doing, the three pull it off successfully, and everyone gets paid to live off of until death. However, on one morning, billionaire Devin Weston pays Franklin a visit as Vinewood Hill's home. He demands that Trevor be killed as he is a loose cannon and too unpredictable to remain alive. Franklin then later receives a call from Steve Haynes demanding that Michael be killed. Not knowing what to do, he pays the mastermind himself a visit. However, Lester doesn't know what to do either, first suggesting to kill them both.
All right. I say kill Michael, then kill Trevor. Man, are you for real? You're fucked, I don't know.
But he eventually comes up with a risky plan to save all of them, in which they only have one chance. Luckily for them, it all works out in the end should you have chose option C. The crew then parts ways professionally, but can still hang out after the events of the main story. After the events of the story, Lester continues working in the criminal underworld in more complex endeavors, working with the crew in Los Santos, in which none of them talk, which is quite interesting indeed, and they go on various wild adventures after. But as of now, that is all we know of Lester Crest. His wasting disease may have made him live on borrowed time, so it is unknown if he will be present in Leonida, but I guess only time will tell. Lester's life is truly tragic if you think about it under a microscope. He tried to live an ideal life and have a legit job and not live a life of crime, but he was turned away at the first sight. Should things have gone differently and he was accepted into that school though, things could have gone very differently for Lester Crest. But unfortunately, the way things went, he turned into a life of crime, and maybe it was for the better, because he made a bag, he gets about 20% from every heist that everyone does in GTA Online, and still drives this crappy car. Once again, due to his wasting disease, this could make him quite the fragile character. Maybe he could die in the event of GTA 5 after the game finishes, so it is unknown as of now if he will make a small appearance in Leonida, but I really hope he does, as everyone does, because Lester is quite the beloved character, and I'm sure many people would be very excited to see him in that game. But once again, only time will tell for that matter. And that is it, everyone. Hopefully you did enjoy this video. If you did, please consider subscribing and leaving a like for the YouTube algorithm. It basically tells YouTube that, hey, people like my content, so it suggests it to more people. Thus, the channel grows and then we grow it together, know what I'm saying? And if you'd like to become a channel member, you can be like my dog Byron here and get a custom license plate on one of my cars in GTA Online. All you have to do is subscribe, which you should be already, and it will be replaced by a button that says join. Click it for more details, and that is all. I love you all. Have a great day or night or evening, and I'll see you all later. Goodbye.